Willie D. Live.
In the studio, the National Minister of Politics for the new Black Panther Nation, Dr. Candice Matthews.
Hey, my brother.
Salute.
How you doing, my brother?
Well, welcome back.
Thank you for having me.
Now, listen, you spent a lot of time on the front lines for civil and human rights. What I want to know is, what drives you? Because you spend, when I say a lot of time, you spend a lot of time. I'm talking about, like, if you ain't sleeping, you fighting for people's rights. Right.
You know what? It's because I'm a very empathetic person, and it's to the fact where, I had to sit back and think, like, what does it feel like to not to be able to walk in certain doors that people wouldn't really give a damn about you? So my thing is, I want to be that voice for the voiceless. And so if I have to utilize my time to be able to do it, then that's what I'm going to do. Because that's actually how I feel like I'm paying my tithes to helping people in the community. Because you got a lot of people that's doing this type of work and their intentions is not pure. And then you wonder why you can't get 2 steps forward and have to take 5 steps back. This stuff is serious work because we have people who really are out here who really need the help, who really don't have the voice. They can't go in the mayor's office and be like, hey, my apartment is flooded. Can you come and do this? Man, I don't want to hear that. But if I go in there, he going to want to hear it. Mm-hmm. So I feel that I've always been that type of individual, even when I was in school. When people who were voiceless getting bullied, I would be the one and be like, all right, well, then bully me then. You know what I mean? So I still have that same mentality of how I feel about, people who are being disenfranchised, people who are, being mistreated. They need someone to help them. But you have to be careful when you're doing this too, because you have some of these people that'll try to weaponize you, and they know they dead wrong with all the stuff that they do, even like what I did with the apartment complexes. The main thing that I ask with that is, 1, are you updated with your rent? 2, I need proof to verify that you've been updated with your rent for the last 3 months, right? Then the next thing is that I need to see the actual direct evidence, because we got people out here that turn around, they'll get mad at the landlord. All right, then, I'm going to call Dr. Matthews in. No, that's not how they work, So if I'm going to help you, I'm going to help you genuinely, and I'm going to make sure that work is going to be done and it's going to get done. But if you over here trying to weaponize because of the influence that I have, or that I can pretty much make people shake, then that's not how that's going to work.
Right, because your credibility is on the line.
Absolutely.
And you got people out there that just can't wait to say, she don't know what she's talking about. Look at this. Try to basically, discredit you. Right.
Yeah. And I even mentored some activists in other states. And, they'll call me and they'll ask me on certain, issues. And like I tell them, if you do not have direct proof, then you can't get in front of it. So what you would need to do, you would need to bring them to a civil rights attorney or an attorney that actually deal in that specific arena, because an attorney can do more than what we can do. And I let them know as well, we cannot give legal advice. You know what I mean? We cannot.
But even an attorney has to have a certain amount of evidence, I guess discovery evidence.
Well, see, that's what discovery
to take a case in the first place, because, again, somebody just reach out to a Ben Crump or whatever, and they don't really have any evidence of wrongdoing. You basically expecting him to go use all his resources to go investigate a case for you
this is a key.
May not exist.
But see, this is a key. The key to it, like I let them all know, straight up, that motion of discovery will separate the sheep from the lambs. Okay? And they have to understand as well, not all of these cases that we refer to attorneys are on consignment. You may have a possibility where you have to pay a consultant fee, And it may be a possibility that you would have to pay a retainer fee. Now, in order for us to get involved, if you don't have direct evidence, you don't have video, you don't have documents, you don't have recordings, then that's what I'm going to refer you to, because attorneys can get certain things through motion of discovery. But you have to understand that it may not be on consignment.
Well, some people got the mentality that if you're working for the people, it's just supposed to be free. Like you supposed to come out your pocket, or you don't have children to feed, you don't have gas to put in a car note or a house note. You can just spend all your time working for everybody else, and you're not going to be compensated for your time. This is what you do. It's not a part-time thing. This is like what you do, right?
Yeah, but see, like I told you earlier, it's like, for me, is that I have a business. So my business takes care of me.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So I don't have to be out here charging $3,500 or $1,500 and things like that. I'm doing this because guess what? I'm not going to miss my blessing.
Well, you're doing it strictly because of your passion, and you got the heart, like you say, compassion. But there are activists out there who that's all they do, and they deserve to be compensated.
Absolutely.
They got to be compensated. Hell, if they're out here fighting for you and they're using up all their resources, who the hell is going to fight for them? You're going to turn them into the beggar. Now, they got to go out there and get somebody to fight for them and help them out. And that's why they got to be compensated.
But see, that's why with any activist, like I tell, activists that, hey, if you want this to be your only line of work, then push it to the limit. If not, you need to have another set of income so you can move the way you want to. You know what I mean? Because you don't have to take every case, because that's how a lot of activists get in trouble. You'll turn around and take a case, you take these people money, and then you turn around and you can't follow through with what they ask, or either you'll turn around and not going to lie in certain situations, then they'll turn around and try to say, oh, he took my money. Oh, she took my money. She didn't do this, she didn't do that. So that's why you have to move strategically when you dealing in this type of line of work. You have to be able to have the freedom, the financial freedom as well, to move the way that you want to move. However, but if you want to try to do like a foundation or try to do something that's on a larger scale, then of course it's going to take donors to do that. But you have to be that type of organization. I'm not taking donors for people who disenfranchise folks that look like us, because you're not going to control my mouth. You're not going to control, if you doing something you don't supposed to be doing, then I'm not going to come for you. You're not going to control that. And so that's why I move freely the way that I do.
Well, what about taking all of their money and still using it against, and still doing the right thing? In other words, they take all of our money and they don't give a damn either way. Like, for example, you got McDonald's, all these fast food restaurants that are located in the hood. They don't do anything in the hood. They don't give back anything, but they continue to take our money. So why can't we do the same? Why can't we take their money and not do anything for them?
Because you know what they do. When they give us
I know
their
when they
money,
give you money, but I'm saying, like, if you set your foundation up strong enough, if you stand on something strong enough to where they ain't got no choice. For example, well, that's not a good example. I was about to say Black Lives Matter, but
shade, honey.
But for example, let's say a shape center or something like that that stands on something. I forgot Detroit. The guys in Detroit, man, y'all charge it to my brain, not my heart. These guys out there are doing some good work in Detroit, right? They stand on something, and they don't care, like, who you are. They'll come get you. Like, I'm saying, like, you stand on. Here's a good example: the ADL. The ADL will take donations from anybody, but they stand on something. When they say this is what it is, and they don't care, at that point, your money ain't no good. Exhibit A, Kanye West. At this point, your money ain't no good. All of those brands that was endorsing Kanye, who gave money to the ADL, all of them contribute money to the ADL, right? ADL said, this is what it is. Y'all need to disassociate yourself with him. And we ain't worried about, I don't care how many millions y'all give us. we standing on this, and y'all either with us or you against us. And they decided, you know what, we better be with the ADL because they're so powerful. I'm saying,
But see, that's the key word.
you get that power and you stand on it, but you get the power by standing on something in the first place. You'll never get no real power by, being a sucker,
No, you don't. You don't. And see, and the key word that you said in that whole scenario, again, is power, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you have already set that foundation and you have a powerhouse backing you with that foundation, you can move any way you want to. You can move just like on a chessboard. You can move any way you want to, as long as you protect the queen. That's it. But see, with a lot of us black people, we really don't have that. But that's what we need. That's exactly what we need. Because guess what? I guarantee we have that. We wouldn't really have a lot of the foolishness that's happening right now that's disenfranchising us. And we need people who are not boot-licking Negroes, too. Because you have a lot of them that are agents of white supremacy. That's right in the camp with us. That's walking down, protesting, doing all this stuff, and reporting back to master. What we gonna do about that? You understand what I'm saying? So it's like it's
off with their heads.
Okay, treasonous.
Yeah.
Off with your head.
Off with their head. I don't see anything wrong with that. I think that we should get used to that idea. Like get used to the concept of like cutting them out, eviscerating them. When we find out, you're an agent, okay, you got to go. But it's too many of us who get caught up in the optics of a black person being in a high position. Mm-hmm. And we just think like, oh, he's in a high position, you got to protect him at all costs. And I say, no way. Like, you either with us or you're against us.
They have to show themselves approve, period.
Yeah.
You have to show yourself, because I wouldn't give a damn what position you in. But if you're not doing something that is for the best interest of people of color, I'm going to chop your ass down like an AK-47.
Okay.
And that's how, and I stand on that.
Sounds brutal.
And it will be brutal because I'm going to tell you now, because at the end of the day, I am for people of color. That's what I'm about, And if you doing something and you are in a position where you can make transformational change and you refuse to do it, I'm going to chop you down.
Let's talk about how you get down for foster care children.
Well, I was just chopping them down last week.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Now bring me up to speed.
Okay, so I sit on the Texas Department of Family Protective Services State Office CARP committee that deals with providers, that deals in the, what they call it, residential child care, like your child placement agencies. That's like, foster adoption agencies. Mm-hmm. You have your residential treatment centers. These are children who cannot, they need a little bit more extra support because of behavioral, or it can be different from that. And then also you have your shelters. And then also you have your treatment foster care homes. And so with treatment foster care homes, these are children who really supposed to be in residential treatment facilities, but they want to put them in an actual home where it can only be just them with an actual parent. And they pay a certain amount of dollars that's largely versus what they would pay in a foster adoption agency, right? So, okay, so we meet once every 3 months is what we do. And, me, I come in there with all the tough questions because, see, I'm not coming there for a dog and pony show. You know what I mean? Because you got to keep in mind, I used to be a foster parent. So that's the up that I have on everybody that's on that committee. Because how can you make decisions on children when you ain't never had them in your eyes? That's one. The second up that I have is that the majority of children in foster care look like us. So how can you make decisions on our children? See, I let them know these are our kids. And this committee needs to mirror what our children look like.